at times. What do you think you learned about yourself going through that?
All right, let's contextualize that. That's a fact, but let's look at the fact that I was also married 4 times for less than a year, actively married. There was always a little bit of a long sort of decay curve through separation and divorce, but actively married, cohabitating for 1 year, 4 times. So I wasn't very good at it. And now I've been married happily and having earned that happiness, which you find out that you have to work at it, for 25 years and going strong and looking forward to the next 25 years. So I think it's a learned art. And I think that we all grew up with a kind of a fairy tale kind of approach to marriage in our culture. There's a lot of money to be made around weddings. And I think women, probably a little more than men, invest a lot in the idea of the big wedding, and somehow that's going to cement the relationship, when really, you should just go do it in Vegas and not spend the money and then put all that effort and energy into the work it takes to really be with somebody relationally for a long period of time, because you're constantly learning about the other person, and you have to I think you have to make a pact with yourself to actively want to make them happy, not your version of what should make them happy, but what actually makes them happy. And that's a learned thing, because earlier on it was sort of like conditional. As long as you still love me, I'll love you, right? Or as long as this is still worth it for both of us, or even just worth it for me, I'll be in it. But the second that's no longer the case, hasta la vista. And that doesn't work. And, it took me a while to realize that.
What was involved on your end with realizing that?
Life, just realizing, is it me? I seem to be the common denominator here. And I could unpack each one individually, and they were all different learning curves, and they were all different experiences. Linda Hamilton and I hung on for a long time, long after we probably should have. We were together for 7 years, and we loved each other. We just didn't get along, and when you realize that that's possible, that you can really love somebody, but just not get along, not cohabitate, not coexist.
You think you were looking for the wrong thing in a match in the earlier days?
No, I fall in love with people I can learn from. So I'd fall in love with somebody that I admired greatly. I admired Gail greatly. I admired Catherine greatly. I admired Linda greatly. But I think I didn't pre-select well enough for people that could stand me, that I could stand them. Everybody's got their habits and their ways, and,
How are you challenging to stand?
I'm busy. I got to do. The center doesn't hold. I think that, I don't want to unpack each one of these individually, but I would like to say generally, I really admired and loved the women that I was, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful for that time.
All right, that's enough of that. So a couple of things. I would say that this guy here is smarter than the average bear, right? Most men will go through relationships and they end. And then if you ask them why they ended, they'll say, oh, we just grew apart, or, we just weren't compatible, or we were just different people. And it's like, that doesn't tell me anything. Okay. This guy actually learned something from his failed relationships. I don't believe in the word failed relationship. It's just a relationship. Okay. There's no way to fail at a relationship. And sometimes relationships are meant to end and they just fucking end. But I say he's smart because he's self-aware. He said, is it me? That's always a great question to ask. He said, I was not very good at it, right? Which is, again, this is him taking accountability for starting a relationship, marrying a woman, and then it all falling apart. He was like, I'm the common denominator here. Now, some things that I think he doesn't understand is that you can't have any relationship you want with any woman that you want, any kind of person that you want, right? You can only have certain types of relationships with certain people. Okay. And so if you're in a relationship, you feel like you have to work at it. What that means is that you're with a woman who is not highly sexually attracted to you. Okay. Because people, not just women, but people break rules for the person who they want to be in a relationship with, and they make rules for the person who they don't want to be in a relationship with. Okay. So I'm trying to communicate what the minimum requirements are. You do not have to work at a marriage. That's not true. You have to work when that woman is not highly sexually desirous of you. That's when you have to work. Okay. Which is why I say, as a husband, your number one job is to keep your woman highly sexually attracted to you. Okay. A woman who's highly sexually attracted to you is not trying to divorce you. She's not arguing with you. She's not trying to flee. She's trying to get more attention, more time, more consideration, more sex, more everything that you want to give, she's going to want more of, as long as she's highly sexually attracted to you. I think he's right when he says that people today, or women today, don't actually want to be married. They want the wedding, right? They want the glitz and the glam and the excitement and the significance and the moments and the pictures and the family and the friends and the gifts. They don't actually want to be in a committed relationship, because a committed relationship means that there's going to be work on her side. She is going to need to show her ass up and do things and basically earn you on a daily basis. Okay. Because you're valuable and commitment from you is worth earning. Okay. He also said the same fatal mistake of make them happy. This is where all guys go wrong. You do not want to make her happy. What you want to do is be happy your damn self. You want to create peace and happiness and joy within yourself, right? Which you do by feeling and expressing all of your other emotions, such that happiness and joy is the one that is left. It is our natural state. And then you want to create an environment, right? So first you want to lead by example. And then secondly, you want to create an environment, your home, your relationship, where she can see you being happy, and she can also create and carve out her own happiness. But what you never want to do is make yourself responsible for that woman's happiness, because that's not something you can control. Okay. Control the controllables. And if men could control women's happiness, all women in relationships would be happy. Okay. Happiness is an inside job. Do not be hoodwinked. Do not be fooled by this bullshit you hear online, because it's not a reality. Okay. He said that he was in relationships with women where we loved each other, right? But we just couldn't get along, right? He said, I admired these women, but we just couldn't get along. Translation, and hear this clearly. What that means was he found women who he liked to learn from. And I've been in this position. I've made this mistake. He was with women who he respected and he admired and he looked up to. Okay. Now, there's nothing wrong with that per se, but when you're looking up to her, that means she has to look down at you. And women do not want to fuck men who they look down at. Okay. It is commonly said that musicians and rock stars, the men who are musicians and rock stars, they fuck their fans. But Rihanna, Beyonce, the women, they don't fuck their fans. So you can idolize and look up to this woman, but just know you're not going to have that kind of relationship. You're not going to have a sexual, long lasting relationship with a woman who you're looking up to. This is why it's more important that she respects you. Okay. And that she loves and values you. Okay. You don't want it to be the other way around. If it's the other way around where you highly look up to her and you respect her, that might be a cool female friend to have. Right. But if you are looking up to her, that means she's looking down to you. And that means that she's not going to be able to be highly sexually attracted to you. She's not going to desire you long term. And all kind of other problems are going to start happening simply because you picked the wrong woman and tried to have the wrong type of relationship with that woman. Okay. So again, AD the Kingmaker here. Let me know if you guys like this kind of content so I can kind of open your eyes and show you what it looks like, show you the common pitfalls that men make. Okay. And if you're a high caliber husband who's trying to optimize his relationship, his marriage for respect and desire, if you feel as though her desire for you was hot, during the courting phase and the honeymoon phase, and it's kind of just dwindled, and now you're not having sex if you don't initiate and you want to turn it around, you want her to come to you on a weekly basis, consistently offering you blowjobs, then click the link in the description. Or if you watch this on Instagram, click the link in the bio. Go get one of my offers now so we can turn this shit around for you. Peace.